There is a pattern that has destroyed every major empire in history. Not conquest, not invasion, not revolution, but economic collapse, specifically currency collapse. It happens the exact same way every single time. Rome, Spain, and Britain all followed it. Right now, the United States is following that exact same pattern, warning sign by warning sign. This is the story of how empires destroy themselves through their own currency. The sequence is identical for every empire that has fallen economically. The empire is at its peak. Its currency, the Roman denarius, the Spanish dollar, the British pound, is the global standard, backed by gold, silver, and immense trust. The empire expands beyond its means, accumulating massive military and administrative commitments that become unsustainable. The empire spends more than it earns, and deficits become structural and permanent. The empire can no longer borrow or tax enough, so it destroys the value of its currency by reducing its precious metal content or printing money. More currency chasing the same number of real goods causes prices to rise dramatically. Loss of confidence. Both the domestic population and foreign nations lose trust in the currency's value and begin to look for alternatives. The economic system fails, the currency becomes worthless or loses its dominance, and the empire can no longer fund its military or maintain control. For centuries, the Roman denarius, a silver coin introduced in 211 BC, held its value because the government maintained its purity. But empires are expensive, and eventually, Rome did what every empire does. It debased the currency. Emperor Nero was the first to significantly reduce the silver content, cutting it to 90%. But the real destruction came later. By 211 AD, under Emperor Caracalla, the denarius was down to 50% silver. By 265 AD, under Emperor Gallienus, it had fallen to just 5% silver. A coin that was once pure silver became 95% worthless metal. Prices exploded. Farmers stopped selling food for coins, demanding barter instead. The Roman government destroyed its own currency to fund spending it couldn't afford. And when the currency died, the empire died with it. By 476 AD, Rome couldn't pay its armies anymore. In the 1500s, the Spanish Empire began its golden age, extracting wealth beyond imagination from the Americas, particularly from the world's largest silver deposit in Potosi. The Spanish dollar became the first true global currency. The paradox was that more money did not make Spain richer. It just meant everyone had more money. Spain flooded Europe with so much silver that it destroyed the value of silver itself, causing rampant price inflation. Spain was not producing anything, only extracting wealth and spending it on wars and imported luxury goods. King Philip II inherited massive debt, and rather than cut spending, fought wars on multiple fronts. Despite controlling half the world's silver, Spain defaulted on its debt 4 times in 40 years. Each default destroyed trust, forcing the government to debase its currency by minting copper coins supposed to be equal to silver. The country that once controlled the world's wealth spent and borrowed itself into irrelevance. The British Empire governed 1/4 of the world's land, and the British pound sterling was the foundation of global trade for over 2 centuries, anchored to the gold standard. Deficit spending and debasement. Britain funded its massive empire through borrowing. World War I saw the national debt explode tenfold, forcing Britain off the gold standard in 1914. After the war, an attempt to return to gold failed catastrophically, and Britain was forced off gold permanently in 1931. By 1945, Britain's national debt had reached 270% of GDP. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Conference officially replaced the British pound with the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. The pound was devalued repeatedly in the decades that followed, crushing confidence and signaling Britain was no longer a first-rate power. The empire dissolved because Britain could no longer afford to maintain it. Now we come to the United States, the current empire and current reserve currency. Every warning sign is flashing red. Like Rome and Britain, the US started spending more than it had. The Vietnam War and Great Society programs drained the gold supply, and in 1971, President Nixon closed the gold window. The dollar became a pure fiat currency, backed by nothing but trust. Debt and money printing. U.S. national debt is now over $36 trillion, and it is accelerating. Since 2008, the Federal Reserve has been printing money through quantitative easing. including creating over $4 trillion in 2 years during COVID, more money than was created in the previous century combined. Just like every empire before, we were told it wouldn't cause inflation, but it did. Meanwhile, the United States is losing reserve currency status. The world is preparing for the dollar to lose its dominance, just as they prepared for the pound to fall. The United States is at a crossroads. The debt cannot be repaid with current spending. The only options are default, accelerating inflation, or restructuring. The pattern is coming not because of prediction, but because of precedent. 4 empires, 4 currency collapses, 4 identical sequences. The math of empire is unforgiving. History has the answers, and the pattern never lies. If you're enjoying this video, take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Your one click motivates us, and it helps you get every new video right on time.